Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Thursday Mornings with Alex and Don, where Pastor Don answers all of your questions on theology, parenting, and whether he can tell if you're sleeping in church. Enjoy. Please like and subscribe. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
So far, so good.
Good.
It's only 8:30.
Yep. Uh-oh. We got the volume on this, and we don't want that.
The trials and tribulation of live broadcast.
That's right. You said you didn't sleep good last night or something. I said the night before was bad for us, and it was weird. We've had this problem in our house where the smoke alarms go off in the middle of the night.
Oh, that'll wake a body up.
What's weird is that it doesn't ever wake up any of the kids. Like, it's happened 3 or 4 dozen times, I would say. That's just a wild guess, but every time it's just like you go check on the kids and they're fine. And this was after, like, Charlie for the first time ever came downstairs, was like mommy, daddy, and he generally just stays in his room the whole time. So I'm like, checking around everything, and I turn the smoke detectors off, and so then I try to go back to sleep, and I'm like, smoke detectors are off. What if there's something wrong? Found out it was the wind blowing in the exhaust port for the furnace.
Okay.
So it was carbon monoxide was building up
Elevated
in the
levels.
basement.
Yeah.
In that one smoke detector there. That's what it was. So
Set them all off.
Yep. Well, they're all wired together too, so it's super annoying. It's real loud. So,
One thing about it, if they work correctly, you'll never sleep through a fire.
well, my kids will.
Well, you'll get them up.
Our infant
Yeah.
did. And he generally just, I think, hates sleep. Or just loves seeing us.
I think he loves to see you in the middle of the night.
Well, Carly for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That makes sense.
It does.
So Tuesday we've got a live taping, and we're going to do live questions and all of that at the Kelowna Coffee Shop, 6:30.
Right.
So come out, see us.
And the only way we're advertising this is through this podcast and through the bulletin at the Westchester United Methodist Church. So I have a little incentive thing that if you come into Kelowna Coffee House and you tell them that you're there for the broadcast when you buy your coffee or your latte or your foo-foo drinks, there'll be something special for you.
Ooh.
At the register.
Awesome. So come
don't expect big things, but there'll be something for you.
Everyone gets a new car from Don. All right.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Even Don doesn't have a new car.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah,
new cars are overrated, aren't they?
they really are.
So yeah, come ask some questions, heckle Don a little bit. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You can write down questions. We're not going to drag you up in front of the camera or anything unless you want to.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Unless you're related to me or something, or I
Yeah.
feel like it.
We could make that happen.
Yeah.
We could. I'd, loan him my mic just to make it happen.
Yeah. So, questions today. I really wanted to talk about how do you convince somebody, or how do you about the believing in the resurrection. Okay, I found that it's interesting how this certain part of the faith journey is kind of is a difficult part, the last stepping stone, and it's a little shaky.
Sort of a sticking point.
Yeah, and I've always thought that was pretty easy, but for some reason, the believing that, then he rose from the dead, that's the part we're not. And what's interesting is that no other faith has the God that has.
True. But
Come
it's
back from the
referenced
dead.
so often, especially in Paul's writings, and it's part of Romans 10, 9 and 10, where that's sort of the test of whether you're saved or not. If you confess with your lips that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. I mean, that's basically what Romans 10, 9 and 10 says. So you're right, that test of resurrection, as far as the measuring piece of our faith, I think really is often a sticking point, because we don't encounter resurrection in the human realm.
No.
Yeah, mysterious stuff.
Yeah.
But in reality, as far as the Christian faith goes, there's resurrection for you and me too.
Right.
So if we don't believe that God would raise Jesus from the dead, and also there's 3,000 witnesses, how deep is our faith? So in one way or another, the resurrection piece is a test of faith. Now your question was, how do we convince people? How do we work with people who don't understand that piece? And I think one of the ways to do that is to walk them through Scripture.
Okay.
Specifically, how important that is in your faith. And the second piece is then take them to where the witnesses actually witnessed the resurrected Jesus.
Yeah.
Acts 1. And the end of, Acts 1. And then Paul references how many people did see Jesus alive. And I don't have that reference on the end of my tongue. Sorry, we'll have to get that another time. And then the third piece is walk with them in faith, because faith is a growth piece. So they're not going to have that all right away.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be growing in that. So they acknowledge that God raised him from the dead. Good. Well, that's a starting place of their salvation. And then walk with them.
And just keep
Discipleship.
going through there. Okay. Okay. That's a good way to go through it. I found it's kind of tricky to get that part going because they want you to explain it to them. Or in one way or another, like, well, if you can't, explain it, I'm like, it's hard for me because, like, I believe it. I've been through that journey, and obviously my words are not going to be sufficient, unless I'm just quoting straight from Scripture. But sometimes there's a sticking point of like, oh, well, those are just like written by people. How can we trust that actually happened? So sometimes I like to, point them towards, different, non-biblical accounts, which I feel are like less legitimate. But to a non-believer, sometimes it's like, okay, well, as long as this thing wasn't the Bible was built on a whole faith, thing and, religion and stuff. But these other ones were completely unbiased, and sometimes that's good enough. But
and for the New Testament, we have Josephus, who would have historical accounts that parallel the New Testament. So that helps.
That helps a lot too.
As far as New Testament accounts are, and Josephus goes back into the Old Testament as well, but then you could call him prejudiced because he was Jew.
Okay. That's an interesting way to think about it. Huh. So I've got another question too. Sometimes it kind of seems like, so the Old Testament and the New Testament, very different in how it portrays, or different, when you read it, you get a different sense of God's personality, I feel like. Whereas in the Old Testament, it's a lot more vengeful, like angry kind of God. And in the New Testament, it's a lot different. Is that just because it's Jesus that does a lot of, in the New Testament, it's Jesus that's walking you through it?
Well, for the most part, I'd put it more as it's the love piece.
Okay.
Of God reaching out, and then he reaches out through Jesus. I sometimes think I think of the exasperation of God.
Mm-hmm.
That he walked with the people of the Jews so many different ways, so many different depths. Tried to call people with Abraham, and that worked for a while, and then there was all sorts of different scenarios that they just sort of gave up on him. We've been reading through Kings and Chronicles, and if you want to talk about people walking away from God, my goodness gracious, they were doing all sorts of things. So here's a people who willfully walked away from God. They were God's chosen people and willfully walked away. And then now we're working in Ezra, and God's trying to bring them back.
Yeah.
So it's a little different flavor of who God is in that part. And then you get to Malachi, and it's sort of a predecessor to Matthew, and sort of says, hey, I'm working with you guys. I'm trying to bring this about. reconciling fathers to the sons, and that kind of thing, which becomes a theme in the New Testament. One of Jesus' things, bringing shalom to
Mm-hmm.
people's lives, wholeness, uh, peace. Well, that does make it sound like God is different in the New Testament than the Old. But in one way or another, so is humanity.
Oh yeah, much different.
And part of it is, where's God meeting us? Did he love the people? Did he love Abraham less than he loved Paul? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the same love is there, the same God is there. But the people and what the Bible records are the individual people's response to God. And so the flavor of the Old Testament is probably flavored more by the people's response to God than who God is.
Okay.
And same way in the New Testament.
I like that. Yeah, it's a good answer. I always kind of thought it was kind of interesting how, like, looking at the Old Testament, how it's written, like, it clearly they weren't worried about offending anyone. Like, it probably would not get passed today for a, something that would be written and been okay with. Like, there wasn't a ton of editing, sugarcoating when they put the Old Testament together. I always thought that was just really interesting and such an important part of the Bible that when they put it together, they could have easily changed that and made it to look, made God look to be a lot more loving and, caring and but then different people see it different ways, is spanking a child a form of love? Is discipline a form of love? To some people it is, and some people see it as, well, that's just being aggressive, But and I also thought it was interesting how Jesus was always such a awesome, authoritative figure, savior, that he didn't he demanded a lot of respect, but he wasn't there to just coddle, even though through him we see all that love that brings so many people to the faith.
And that's what's neat is we see that personality of Jesus because we have his words recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And we have four gospels recording it, and we see the similarity between the four gospels. We know he said it.
Yeah.
So that really does say a lot about the personality of Jesus. You were talking about the personality of the person writing. Look at First and Second Kings and First and Second Chronicles.
Okay.
Because those parallel events are recorded in those four books, and the personality of the writer starts to come out, and the culture and the aspect, point of view, if you will.
Okay.
Like, I've been watching these Instagrams. Have you watched Instagrams? They're silly little things. And these kids are doing point of view, POV.
Yep.
And they do point of view this way and point of view this way. And that's sort of what we've got going.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it, yeah.
So every time a point of view looks a little different, First Kings, First Chronicles, it changes the aspect just a little bit. And I think that's possible.
Okay. I like how you referenced yeah. That's funny. My wife Carly and I were talking about how because she thinks all these videos should be shorter, and I keep saying, I could talk to Don for an hour, 2 hours, and it probably wouldn't be the best, but I could still do it. And she's like, well, he should just do because we're talking about how we're trying to get you to do one on your own too, and have me produce it a different way. She's like, oh, he should just do TikToks. Do you know what that is?
No.
So this is the new thing. It's called TikTok, and basically it got really popular because it's like 30-second clips or something. That's the maximum, or something like that. No, 3 minutes. And sometimes it's just like people dancing a certain way. So then this certain dance will go viral, and then everyone will try to do that dance.
Oh.
It was kind of funny. Like a year ago, you would see kids just randomly just holding their phones up or setting it down and then dancing, just out in public.
Oh.
I remember being that's weird. But at the same time, it's I would have never done that when I was a kid. I would have been much too shy and, self-conscious of my image to just be dancing and trying TikToks in public. But
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you aren't gonna catch me dancing, I don't think. Well, I tell you what.
It's not just
We,
dancing. A lot of times
well,
it's other stuff too.
I'm a pastor at heart.
Mm-hmm.
I will do whatever it takes to get the gospel as far as I can possibly
Yeah.
send it, as long as the Lord gives me the strength and the energy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line.
Yeah. Well, maybe that'd be a good avenue for it then. Yeah, because I think after I tried to Twitter once and I was just couldn't do it.
Twitter once.
Yep.
Okay.
You know what Twitter is, right?
No.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I guess I did it one time.
it's got the little bird. Yeah, it's like the most popular one. Well, Trump.
Oh, it's
remember?
the thing that
The Trump always used to post
yes,
stuff on it. Yep.
my phone kept doing its little tweedle tweedle,
Yep.
and I decided to eliminate the app.
Yeah. I have a lot of those too. If it like has too many ads that pop up on it, I'm like, well, sorry, see you later.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Last question. Okay, so Thanksgiving's coming up. What is your favorite dish for Thanksgiving?
Dressing.
Dressing.
I like dressing.
So like
Yes.
stuffing. That's what I call it.
Stuffing. Yeah. Dressing. Stuffing.
Okay. Yep.
Mm,
That's the good stuff.
yes, it is. I look forward to it.
Yep. I keep trying every year to push us to have a authentic Thanksgiving. It's important to be authentic, but really there's a ulterior motive I have because what they probably would have eaten at the first Thanksgiving would have been like shellfish, lobster, and I'm trying to think of. I remember there was like one time I thought like, what would be like one thing that they would have actually had at Thanksgiving?
Other than the turkey.
Well, I don't know. They wouldn't have had turkey. I don't think they would have
Okay.
had turkey. I don't think. I'm not exactly sure. No, the turkey is native, yeah, but where they were, where was it? Massachusetts area, I think, is
Right.
what it was.
Mm-hmm.
There wouldn't have been turkeys there at that time, I don't think, but right on the coast, so it would have been stuff from the sea. It would have been fish, it would have been lobster, it would have been other things, and I think at the time of year, they would have been just, they wouldn't have had sweet corn, but they probably would have had, maybe some kind of a cornbread thing. But I always push to do that just for the lobster part of it.
Okay. You're into the lobster.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have,
Well, I think as long as you're giving thanks,
Yeah.
go for it, bud.
because we got kids and we got lots of family. And this year we actually have 3 Thanksgivings back to back. And that thing, like if you eat too much turkey and you get tired, I can see myself already. I already feel getting tired from it, eating all that food and then having to chase the kids around, but
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
Yeah. The afternoon's more for a nap
Oh yeah.
after a meal like that.
Uh-huh. I agree. That's
Back
one
to
of the best
back.
parts.
I'll pray for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, what am I complaining about? I get to go have 3 Thanksgivings 3 days in a row. Like legitimately, that sounds amazing.
It does.
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
when I was little, I always just say, I always was like, what is your favorite holiday? I was like, Thanksgiving, and everyone else would be like Christmas because you get presents. I was like, oh, the food. I was a pretty chunky kid, so it made a lot more sense back then. But yeah,
We still enjoy food.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. We're guys.
yep,
The way to a man's heart
yep,
is through the kitchen. Yep.
yep. My favorites were always grandma, especially if they baked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I'll ride my bike to your house and get some treats. If I walk in the door, I remember my grandma Doris. We rode our bikes down there once in the house I'm currently living in, and went in there, and she was taking a nap because she worked herself to the bone every day, and walked in there, and she woke up from a nap, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, kids, I don't have any." I don't have any, desserts or snacks for you, but I'll get something made. And she makes some O. Henry bars with just, like cornflakes with that nice thick layer of chocolate on top. And it's like, oh yeah. I thought it was funny because she was like, "Oh, I know why you're here."
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You only come to grandma's house for the goodies. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But there's other reasons we came to grandma's house.
Oh yes, of course there was. Yep. Yep.
Oh, my.
Well, this is a good episode here, Don, and everyone, please join us. Please, please, please come. Bring a friend. Tuesday. if for nothing else than to just, sit around and talk and hang out with somebody on Tuesday night. Probably nothing better to do. So
November 23rd,
November 23rd, 6:30.
Kelowna Coffee House.
That's right.
And remember to say as you get your drink that you've come for the program.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cool.
They'll know who you're with.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Don.
Thank you, Alex. God bless.
Yep.